Hello, hello. Hi, you guys. Wow. Good morning. So the question is, how is running your own life working? How's it working? And it seems like it's a bit of a jump from wanting to change a few things to letting go of all things. And for some of us, we have to get pretty badly mangled, pretty badly mangled. Some of us have to really get smashed. And let's let's uh, let's use relationship for an example. You know, we many of us want to be in a relationship and with somebody. We'd like to have a primary partner, and we have a set of guidelines or conditions, and we say, well, this is how it has to look, and this is how he has to be or she has to be, and so we're going to manage it, and it doesn't work, and we're like, shit, we get mad. We say, well, men are all assholes, or women are all, self-obsessed, and so we blame the other, and we sometimes go home to mom to recuperate, and we find people to say, oh, poor you can't find the right guy, and so it's the whole society, or whole is conditioned to this idea that we should be able to manage, and we can't. It doesn't. There's no peace in management. There's no peace in management. There's only struggle in management. So, how many times have many of us tried it? We've maybe found somebody that we thought was just the right guy, the right gal. Anyway, lots of us have done that. That's one example. And so for some of you, this won't make sense. Actually, you probably wouldn't watch this my daily reading if if everything was really on the beam. If you were living in beautiful harmony and peace, you wouldn't be watching this. So here's the kind of the bottom line. The bottom line is that from our ego, from our persona, from our perception of life, we cannot manage the life. We can't manage it. We're always trying to get our way. We're running from a selfish point of view. And so the core of our difficulty is selfishness. But the selfishness came from a perception that we should be able to manage, right? It came from a perception that we should be able to manage our life. If we just learn enough, if we take enough courses, if I do enough landmark, that's a course. If I study hard enough, if I can, I'm going to go and study psychology. And all of that is in an effort to master life. And now, to a certain level, we can get with, a certain level of mastery, and where we can somewhat manage. But there's so much beyond that. Yes, you can learn a lot of strategies, and kind of hold it all in place to a certain level. And we see it all the time. You know, that people are living in a of a contained way, a contracted way, but it's kind of working, and it's like good enough, and so maybe they're not using, or they're not drinking, or they're not abusing themselves, and they're with a partner that has agreed to the terms, and so we're living in a bit of a container, and but some of us just, that isn't good enough. It just isn't good enough. There's got to be more. There has to be freedom, and but freedom can't come from management. Freedom comes from total surrender. Can you see that? Can you grasp that it doesn't come from learning a lot of strategies? I mean, some basic stuff is necessary, to learn how to pay, your bills, and to take care of some of the basics is necessary. Learn some skills so we can go to work. But no matter what it is that we're doing, if it's coming from this place of freedom, of an unrestricted love, of unrestricted knowingness, oneness, then we're really there. Then we're really there. Then we're really present, and we're not there carefully. We're not there restrictedly. We're present. It's funny. Often we say, "Oh, my partner's emotionally unavailable," because he's not there. He's being careful. He's not in, living in love, or she's not living in love. She's trying to manage. Of course, she can't be really emotionally unless she, has a breakdown, and they have, we get to a place where we fall apart, and then when we fall apart, we pull it all back together. Oh my gosh, I can't live like that. But falling apart can sometimes be the most amazing thing, because then we realize that, I'm trying to hold it all together, and it doesn't work. So just, recognize that that's really step one in the 12 steps of recovery, is that I can't manage my own life. My life is not manageable, that I need to have a relationship. So this isn't a religion. This isn't, teaching about some sort of a particular higher power. This is a relationship with now, with the moment, with whatever we find in that moment, whatever we want to call it in that moment. But we practice surrender. We practice letting go of our fear. We practice letting go of our anger and our judgment and our complaint. We practice letting go of what the symptoms of those are, which look like selfishness. And as we do that, we come into our natural state, which is the state of now. Now, in that state, we can still plan for the future, lightly, and not hold on to things too tightly. Have you ever been in a relationship where we're holding on, so tightly, we're so afraid that she's going to be with somebody else, or he's going to be with somebody else? Well, then we can't be there. We're not there. We're not in it. So as we surrender all of that, and we feel it, we feel, the stuff that we've been stuffing, most of our lives, we've been pushing it down. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel vulnerable. I don't want to feel jealous. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel the hurt, sadness, grief. So we just let that percolate up without attachment, and we surrender it, and we become loving human beings, our natural state. Wow. So that's being unconditional love. It's not a religion. It's life. It's possible without conditions. No need to yell. No need to manage. How about that? Sometimes I think, oh gosh, am I going too far? Yes, maybe. The 20th October. So we read every morning from this little book. And by the way, if you're wondering, who is this guy and how does he get to talk like this? So I've been in recovery in the 12-step world for a long, long time and and struggled. I really did struggle. This didn't come because I woke up one day and thought, wow, what a beautiful day. I think I'll just turn my will and my life over completely. No, didn't. I struggled for years in recovery with wanting to manage, wanting to control, wanting to, and I won't call it wasted time. It wasn't wasted time. It was all necessary. It was just, sometimes I feel like I was a slow learner, and I finally got that I'd been holding so tightly onto how my picture of what I thought life should be. And it was from such a small view of possibilities, And even though I had a teacher for years and he said, how would you like to live in your full potential? And I would say, yes. And he would say, well, just be here now. Yes. But I didn't realize that I wasn't. It just took a while to see. And that I was still running from fear. I was still being fear. I was running the show. So in the 12 steps, it is a clear path to that awakening. It's a simplified, clear path to that awakening. And the language is there to show us what it is that we need to let go of. It's steps 6 and 7. We have these things removed. How to live on a daily basis of doing the step 10, which is that, we're doing a minor inventory every day just to see where we've fallen back into our old ways of selfishness and self-centeredness. And so it's a beautiful path, and we give it away. And we give it away. It's because, who more than the addict and the alcoholic is more available to want to change. And if you have an alcoholic and an addict in your life and you know that he or she has sincerely said, I'm done, this is it, I'm finished. And then later said, I don't know what happened. So many of us drank or used medicinally, because the pain was too much. And so there's freedom. It really is. So here we go. I read from this little book every day called 24-Hour Day Book to you guys. And was written in 1954 by this fella. And it has old language, and sometimes I rewrite the language as we go, because I haven't read today's yet. And sometimes it's just so patriarchal, 54. It's even sometimes a bit racist, And so I clip that stuff out and replace it with more loving language, as we go if I can. And it's beautiful. Hi, Gordon. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to read October 20th, Thought for the Day. It says, for the past few weeks, we have been asking ourselves some searching questions. We have not been able to answer them all as we would like. We have not been able to answer them all as we would like. But on the right answers to these questions will depend the usefulness and effectiveness of our lives, and to some extent the usefulness and effectiveness of the whole 12-step movement. It all boils down to this. I owe a deep debt to the 12-step movement, to AA, to NA, to CA, and to the grace of God. Am I going to do all I can to repay that debt? So he has a context of having a debt, and I see it that way. In a way, yes, I'm so grateful, but how could I not? How could I not share this awakening? How could I, and I see that when sometimes when fellas come in and they're so in such a hurry to start putting their financial house in order and they miss that this is the path. If we don't give it away, we actually don't get to keep it. We don't get to keep it. That's not a bullshit story. That's a fact. Giving it away is the key. And we see ourselves every day. We get out of ourselves every day. Ego, self-centeredness, selfishness is just waiting, right? So just know that giving it away and giving back is the gift. So it's not just from IO. It's from, it's really from gratitude. Let us search our souls, make our decisions, and act accordingly. Any real success we have in life will depend on that. So he's saying that. Now is the time to put your conclusions into effect. What am I going to do about it? So his message through most of October was asking questions about service, and really beautifully done. Meditation for the day. O Lord and our God, our Lord and God, be it done unto us according to thy will. So just simplify that. My prayer every day is thy will be done, thy will be done. And more, that is more about this person acting in that, in whatever the will of love is, whatever the will of love is. Love, that's how I see God. Love. Simple acceptance of God's will is whatever happens is the key to abundant loving. Will in whatever happens is the key to abundant living. So that's beautifully said. Acceptance in each moment, life on life's terms, is the key to abundant living. Because then we're in our full potential. Then we're here in this moment saying yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes is the word. I must continue to pray. Not my will, but thy will be done. It may not turn out the way we want it to, but it will be the best way in the long run, because it is God's will. If you decide to accept whatever happens as God's will for you, whatever it may be, your burdens will be lighter. Yeah. Burdens will be lighter. Try to see. Let's take out try to. See in all things some fulfillment of the divine intent. I just want to say that lately I've been noticing that lots of folks are getting all fired up about, what's happening in our society right now. Oh, they're taking away our freedoms. They're, just relax. Just relax. And breathe. And know that everything is as it needs to be. If some of us, maybe not all of us, there's going to be people who are adamantly opposed to something always. But in our opposing, we are saying we know better in each moment than what is happening. And so just relax and be the light in the storm. Be the love in the storm. It isn't this way or that. It's down the middle. And Buddha said it. Jesus said it. All the great teachers have said the middle way. Thy will be done. So just know that as we get excited about some perceived injustice, look at the time we're living in. My gosh, it's amazing. That we all have created a system that will actually look after us in tough times. Could you imagine what this country would be like, or our countries would be like, if that wasn't there? We've created an amazing system. It's a system of love. See the love in it. I pray that I may see the working out of God's will in my life. This is the prayer for the day. I pray that I may be content with whatever he wills for me. So that's from the 24-Hour Day book. And a little message of just letting go, and recognizing that, the story we bought into is that life should be this way or that. And as if we know. How can we know? We don't know. And there is no where to go anyway. This is it. Right now, everything that ever is, was, or will be is now. Nothing's missing in this moment. Nothing. Just breathe and come into our body and be here now. And watch the thoughts. That remember that the thinking is not us. It's not you. It's just often crazy thoughts. And we can just gently let them go. And be here now. And in this moment we find this connection, this oneness. I love what Bill Wilson said in We Agnostics. And he talks about God. And we call it God because there's nothing else to call it. What would you call it? You can't call it a duvet. So we have a name. And it brings up all kinds of things for people, all kinds of, but just let go of our perceptions of that word, and and call it what you want. Universal intelligence, the now. I sometimes call it my employer. I need a boss. And so it says in the book we had a new employer. But anyway, Bill said in We Agnostics, God either is or he isn't. Either he's everything or he's nothing. And if he's everything, then he's this moment, right now. This is it. This is it. Be here now. Feel this oneness. God is everything in this moment. And that includes you, me, us. We are all one in this moment. Just feel that.